In this video number 5 of the topic reagents and reactions in organic synthesis, we are going to discuss some problems based on the reactions. So far in this topic we have discussed 6 reagents and 6 important name reactions. So based on these 6 name reactions, problems will be there in the examination. Actually, I don't know the pattern of the examination. So if the descriptive pattern will be there in the examination, then compulsory problems will be asked on this topic, which is nothing but the reagents and reactions in organic synthesis. Now let us see some problems based on these name reactions. Now before solving the problems, before discussing the problems, you should know some basic part of the organic chemistry. Initially you should know carbon is tetravalent, hydrogen is monovalent, oxygen is divalent. Then the general molecular formulae for alkane CnH2n plus 2, for alkene CnH2n, and for alkyne CnH2n minus 2. So this much information you should remember while solving the problem based on the topic name reactions. Now let us see the first problem. Compound A having molecular formula C4H6. Compound A having molecular formula C4H6 on heating with carbonyl compound B. Its molecular formula of compound B is C3H4O. Forms an adduct C having molecular formula C7H10O. So compound C shows absorption bands at 2700 and 1730 inverse centimeter. Identify A, B and C and name the reaction on which this problem is based. So in this problem, compound A, its molecular formula is given C4H6. Compound B, its molecular formula is C3H4O. So compound A is heated with a carbonyl compound B, and this gives a compound C having molecular formula C7H10O. Now this compound C shows IR absorption peaks or bands at 2700 inverse centimeter and 1730 inverse centimeter. Now we have to identify compound A, B and C, and we have to name on which reaction this problem is based. Now let us come to the solution of this problem. Now the initial task is to identify the structures of starting compounds A and B. Now let's find out the structure of compound A. Now this compound A is having molecular formula C4H6. Now this molecular formula of compound A is compared with the molecular formula of alkane. So CnH2n plus 2 is the general molecular formula for alkane. Now here compound A contains 4 carbon atoms, therefore N, the value of N is 4 here. So the value of N is 4. So after putting this value of N in this formula CnH2n plus 2, we can obtain the molecular formula C4H10. So C4H10 is the compound, saturated compound corresponding to this compound A. Now if we compare the molecular formula of compound A with the molecular formula C4H10, we will find the compound A is having 4 hydrogens less. So in this compound A, 6 hydrogens are there. In this formula 10 hydrogens are there. So this compound A is less by 4 hydrogens. So 4 hydrogens means 2 double bonds. Remember, 2 hydrogen less means 1 double bond must be present in that organic compound. Now this compound A having molecular formula C4H6 is less by 4 hydrogens as compared to this molecular formula. It indicates the presence of 4 hydrogens in the it indicates the 4 hydrogens are less in this compound. So 4 hydrogens are less means presence of 2 double bonds. So compound A is unsaturated compound, and as 4 hydrogens are less, the compound should contain 2 double bonds. So in this way we can say compound A is a unsaturated compound and it should contain 2 double bonds. Now point number 2, by considering tetravalency of carbon, means carbon forms only 4 bonds, and presence of 2 double bonds, compound A can be given this structure. So this is the structure for compound A, and the name of this compound is 1,3-butadiene. CH2 double bond CH double bond CH2. This is 1,3-butadiene. So this is how we can arrive at the structure of compound A, which is nothing but the 1,3-butadiene. Now let's find out the structure of compound B. Compound B is having molecular formula C3H4O. It is a carbonyl compound. So this information is already given in the problem. As it is a carbonyl compound, this carbonyl group must be present in this compound B. Now if we deduct this CO, 1 carbon and 1 oxygen, from this molecular formula, we can get this formula, partial molecular formula for compound A. So C3H4O minus CO, it will form C2H4. Now let's arrange these units considering tetravalency of carbon, 4 hydrogens, and CnH2n plus 2. So in this case also, with this compound, we have to find whether this compound B is saturated or unsaturated. If it is unsaturated, then again we have to find out how many double bonds are present in compound B. So again we have to compare the molecular formula of B with the general molecular formula, this one. So while comparing the molecular formula of compound B, that is C3H4O, we have to keep aside oxygen. So just take a C3H4 for comparison with this molecular formula. Now in this compound B, 3 carbon atoms are there, therefore value of N will be 3. C3H2 into 3 plus 2. 2 into 3, 6 plus 2, 8. That means the molecular formula will be C3H8. And this molecular formula is C3H4. We have kept aside this oxygen, C3H4, and this one is C3H. From this molecular formula we have obtained the molecular formula C3H8. So this C3H4 is less by 4 hydrogens. So 4 hydrogens less means there must be presence of 2 double bonds. So by considering all this information, we can suggest this is the structure, this structure for compound B. CH2 double bond CH, CH double bond O. So that is acryldehyde. Now in point number 4, compound A and B on heating forms compound C. How this compound C is formed? by heating compound A with compound B. And this compound C exhibits or shows peak at 2700 and 1730 inverse centimeter in its IR spectrum. So these two bands at these two values, two bands, IR bands at these two values indicates the presence of aldehyde group, CHO group, in compound C. Now comparing molecular formula of C, again we can compare the molecular formula of C with the general molecular formula. It is clear that it contains 3 double bonds. Means the molecular formula of compound C is less by 6 hydrogens. 6 hydrogens less means presence of 3 double bonds. Further, 2 absorption band shows the presence of aldehyde group, that is CHO group, that we have already discussed. And this CHO group is monovalent group. This CHO group is monovalent group. This is monovalent group. Now, nature of reactants and product reaction conditions hints that it is a Diels-Alder reaction. This problem is based on Diels-Alder reaction. Now let's see that reaction. This is 1,3-butadiene. It consists of 2 double bonds as we have exercised. Now this is compound A. Now this compound A, when heated with compound B, which is the acryldehyde, it forms cyclohexene 1Al or cyclohex 3 in 1Al. So this is aldehyde compound. This is the 6-membered cyclic aldehyde compound. Now if we look at the structure of compound C, it consists of this 1 double bond, C double bond O, second double bond is there, and already we have estimated 3 double bonds in compound C, but here only 2 double bonds are looking. This is first double bond and the double bond between carbon and oxygen. What about the third double bond? So third double bond is not looking here, but this ring itself counts for 1 double bond. A ring is equivalent to 1 double bond, remember this point. So this is the first problem, which is based on the Diels-Alder reaction. Now let us consider the second problem. Compound A having molecular formula C3H7NO on heating with alkali releases ammonia and forms alkali metal salt of carboxylic acid. When A is heated with bromine and concentrated alkali, it forms B having molecular formula C2H7N. While B on treatment with nitrous acid yields ethyl alcohol. Name the reaction and identify A and B. So in this compound A, in this reaction, in this problem, compound A, its molecular formula is C3H7NO, is heated with alkali, it releases ammonia and forms alkali metal salt of carboxylic acid. So this much information of compound A is given in this problem. Now when A is heated with bromine and concentrated alkali, it forms B. So in this reaction, compound A is heated with bromine and concentrated alkali. So bromine and alkali are the reagents used in this reaction. You should remember, out of 6 reactions, in which reaction bromine and concentrated alkali is used. So that will give you idea about the reaction on which this problem is based. Now B on treatment with nitrous acid, it yields ethyl alcohol. This is the additional information. Now let us see the solution of this problem. In this problem, initially we have to assign the structure for compound A. So compound A on hydrolysis forms acid and ammonia. This information already given in this problem. So which compounds on hydrolysis gives acid and ammonia? This basic knowledge we should know. So amides on hydrolysis gives acid and ammonia. Remember, amides when hydrolyzed they will yield acid, carboxylic acid and ammonia. So compound A must be an amide. This compound A must be an amide. Thus its structure can be given as CH3CH2CONH2. So in this, just draw 3 carbon atoms which are linked to each other. Then one carbon must be present in amide form, CONH2 form. The remaining 2 carbons, we have to fulfill the tetravalency of these 2 remaining carbon atoms by linking hydrogens to them. So this is how we can arrive at the structure of compound A, which is called as propanamide. Now let's see the structure of B. What is the structure of B? Now B, what sort of information, what type of information is given regarding B in this problem? Its molecular formula is given C2H7N. Further, this B on reaction with nitrous acid yields ethyl alcohol. So B when treated with nitrous acid forms ethyl alcohol. So remember, the primary amines when treated with nitrous acid gives alcohol, primary alcohol, remember. So B on reaction with nitrous acid forms ethanol. It indicates B must be a primary amine, and therefore we can assign the structure for compound B CH3CH2NH2, and this is nothing but the ethyl amine. So again, just go with the molecular formula C2H7N. So just draw 2 carbon atoms and 1 nitrogen in a row by linking with single bonds C-C-N. Now only 7 hydrogens we have to insert. We have to put these 7 hydrogens at proper places by considering the valency, tetravalency of carbon and the trivalent nitrogen atom. We can arrive at this structure CH3CH2NH2, that is ethyl amine. Now once we know the structure of compound A, which is the propanamide, and the structure of B, we can write the reaction, how it proceeds. A, when heated with bromine and concentrated alkali, it gives B. So bromine and concentrated alkali, these are the reagents used in Hofmann rearrangement reaction. So this problem is based on the Hofmann rearrangement reaction. Now let us discuss the reaction. So this is the propanamide. On reaction with this bromine and alkali, that is sodium hydroxide, there is formation of this compound B, which is ethyl amine, and these are the side products as usual: sodium bromide, sodium carbonate and water. So this problem is based on the Hofmann rearrangement reaction. Now let's discuss the last problem. Compound A having molecular formula C13H10O strongly absorbs at 1690 inverse centimeter, and on treatment with an alkylidine triphenyl phosphorin yields compound B having molecular formula C14H12, which on ozonolysis forms formaldehyde and compound A. Name the reaction and identify A and B. So this is the problem. Now if we read this problem carefully and if we recall all these 6 reactions, you should remember the starting compound that is used in all these 6 reactions. What is the starting compound? What sort of reagent is used in all these 6 reactions and what is the product. You should study all these 6 reactions. You should write all the 6 reactions on one page, and then you compare these 6 reactions with respect to starting compound, reagent, and the nature of the product. Now, just by careful reading this problem, one can be able to predict on which reaction this problem is best. So there is one hint. Which reagent is used in this reaction? Compound A, its molecular formula is given. Compound B, its molecular formula is given. How this compound B is obtained? Compound A when treated with alkylidene, this alkylidene triphenyl phosphorane. So alkylidene triphenyl phosphorane, which is the Wittig's reagent. So this reaction is based on Wittig's, this problem is based on Wittig's reaction. Now let's come to, now what is that Wittig reaction? Aldehydes or ketones when treated with Wittig's reagent, we obtain the corresponding compounds. Now let us assign the structure for compound A and B. Now strong absorption at 1690 inverse centimeter indicates the presence of carbonyl group. 1690 inverse centimeter IR peak indicates the presence of carbonyl group, that is C double bond O group. Second point, CH ratio. CH ratio. So what is the CH ratio? The compound A having molecular formula C13H10, the C carbon to hydrogen ratio is nearly equal. So when such is the case, that indicates the compound must be aromatic in nature. So CH ratio of compound A shows it is aromatic compound. Compound A must be aromatic compound. So taking above points into account, it is clear that A is a benzophenone. A is a benzophenone, means C double bond O group is there, and to this carbon 2 phenyl rings are attached, and that compound is called as benzophenone. This is benzophenone. Now let's move to the another point. Comparing the molecular formula of A, C13H10O, and B. If you compare the molecular formulae of A and B, what difference we can find out? In compound A, 13 carbon atoms are there. In compound hydrogens are 10. In compound B, 14 carbons and 12 hydrogens are there. In compound A, oxygen is there. In compound B, oxygen is absent. So as compared to compound A, compound B contains 1 carbon more. A contains 13 carbon, B contains 14 carbon. 1 carbon is more in compound B. Now let us compare the hydrogens, number of hydrogens. In compound A, 10 hydrogens are there. In compound B, 12 hydrogens are there. Therefore compound B consists of 2 hydrogens more as compared to compound A. Oxygen is present in compound A, but oxygen is absent in compound B. So overall comparison indicates that if we replace oxygen from compound A and if we add 1 carbon and 2 hydrogens to that compound A, we can obtain compound B. So 1 oxygen from compound A when replaced by CH2, we can obtain compound B. So that is the only difference in the molecular formulae of compound A and B. Instead of oxygen, CH2 group is additionally present in compound B. So this shows there must be a CH2 group at the place of oxygen. Further, the information that is given in the problem is B on ozonolysis forms formaldehyde and compound A. This indicates compound B must be 1,1-diphenylethene. 1,1-diphenylethene. So looking at the nature of reactant, reagent used, which reagent is used? Alkylidene triphenyl phosphorane, and the product form hints that it is a Wittig's reaction. Now let's see the reaction. This is benzophenone compound A having molecular formula C13H10O. This on reaction with alkylidene triphenyl phosphorane in presence of ether. Generally Wittig's reaction is carried out in presence of ether. We get this compound B, which is nothing but the 1,1-diphenylethene. And if we compare these compounds, these two compounds, compound A with the compound A, oxygen is here, oxygen is present in this compound B. At the instead of oxygen there is this CH2 group. That is the only difference between A and B. So this is how we can assign the structures to the starting compounds or the reactants, and by observing the reaction conditions, the reagents used in the reaction, we can name the reaction on which this problem is based. So this is about the problems on this topic, reagents and reactions in organic synthesis. Just you have to try the problems based on the other reactions, and then only you will get the confidence. So if you have any questions, you can ask me anytime. Thank you very much.